Good evening, everyone. This is Robert. RJL Network presents another exciting edition of Fall Classic. The 1983 Pennant race is on the air. Today's date is September 12th, 1983. We are at Veterans Stadium. This is a spoiler game between the New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies. There are only 5 games scheduled on September 12th. I figured I'd put, and everybody really, I really didn't want to do the Yankees or the Brewers again, so I thought I'd put my Mets on the board. But they are playing a team that's fighting for first place in the National League East, as the Mets will play the Phillies tonight. The Mets come into this game a record of 55-87. Yes, they were horrible in 83. The Phillies a record of 84-57, and they are fighting for first in the National League East. Let's take a look at the postseason standings here on the 12th. In the American League East, the New York Yankees, their magic number to clinch the division is 9. They have a 7-game lead on the Orioles. The Tigers are only 2 games ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers for third. So a good race there in the American League East. The American League West, the Chicago White Sox, their magic number to clinch the division, to clinch a playoff berth is 6. That's not to clinch a division. However, the White Sox have an 8.5 game lead on the Rangers. The Rangers right now are at 500. They're right now the only team I'm concerned about in that division. As being at 500, they're still alive to get a postseason berth. They got to be above 500, of course. National League East, the Montreal Expos, a 1.5 games of the Phillies. The Pirates, they're only 4 games under 500, but they are in third. Pittsburgh still needs to get some wins to try to get a shot here to get a playoff spot in the National League East. In the National League West, the Atlanta Braves, their magic number to clinch the division is 8. They have a 12-game lead on the Dodgers, but we got a 3-way logjam between the Dodgers, the Padres, and now the Houston Astros, who are now tied for third place with the Padres. The Astros have come out of nowhere, and they're back in this race. So we will see what the Astros can do, as right now the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Astros are all fighting for 2 playoff spots. Somebody is going to be left out. That is how the playoffs stand as of today. The postseason standings stand on today. John Haverly and Midlife Crisis is first to join us here at Veterans Stadium. Nothing like playing on turf-covered concrete. The Phillies historically won this game 2-1. They had 5 hits and an error. The Mets had 3 hits and 2 errors. But we'll see what Fall Classic has to say tonight as we get ready for some exciting baseball action. So settle in for a spoiler game between my Mets and the Phillies. And let's see if my Mets can get a win. Starting pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies tonight is John Denny. He had a great year in 83. 19 wins, 6 losses, a 1.16 whip. He will be an A pitcher tonight. We're going to use red, white, and powder blue dice. Phillies are the home team tonight. And let's see if my Mets, however, can give the Phillies at least a good battle. Manager for the Phillies is Paul Owens. Manager for the Mets is Frank Howard. So let's see what happens tonight as we play some Fall Classic baseball. Leading off for the Mets will be the center fielder, Mookie Wilson, who had the greatest at-bat in World Series history. 276 average, 7 homers, 51 RBIs. So Wilson will go ahead and bat against Denny. Good crowd here at the Vet. This game is meaningless for the Mets, but the Phillies, they got to win here to try to get closer. They're a 1.5 games back of the Expos for that division. Let's see what happens tonight. 24, hit by pitch, 1-4. That's a 7. That's not. That's going to be a fly ball to left field, and Joe LaFay is going to get to it, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Next up is the third baseman, Hubie Brooks. Why do I feel Hubie Brooks was an underrated player? 251 average, 5 homers, 58 RBIs that year. Pitch from Denny. 54, that's off the 54 chart, and that is going to be a bases empty wild chart. Fly ball, right field, roll versus error rating for an error. Let's see. Well, that's going to right field, and that is Von Hayes. He didn't make many errors. His error rating is a 4. But he will wake one here. It's going to be an error. And if an error, go to the exotic error chart. So now we will go to the exotic error chart, and let's see what happens. So that will be an error. And that is a 15. Drop fly. Batter safe at first. Runners advance 1 base. And Hubie Brooks. Let's see. So batter safe at first. Runners advance 1 base. Fast with only first occupied. Take third. And a batter out at second. And batters and all runners get 2 bases. So fast with only first occupied. Take third. So no, it's going to be a drop fly ball. The batter will be safe at first. So Brooks is on base with an error. So a drop fly ball by Von Hayes, and that's going to be an E7, and that's the first error for the Phillies. They did have an error in the game historically. Doug Hunt joins us here at Veterans Stadium. And now that'll bring up the first baseman, Keith Hernandez, who should be in the Hall of Fame, not that bum Baines. 306 average, 9 homers, 37 RBIs in 83. Brooks on at first. Pitch from Denny. 42, and that is going to be an out. That's going to be an out, and it's going to be a fly out to center field. Faster, super fast runner advances. Average runner 2 on less strong arm. Well, the center fielder for the Phillies is Gross. He has a weak arm, and Brooks is going to go to second base. Not something you see all the time, but that will be an out, but Brooks will take second. Because center fielder Greg Gross has a weak arm. But there are now 2 down. Next batter will be the left fielder, the $10 million bum, George Foster. 241 average, 28 bombs, 90 RBIs in 83. Denny, he'll go ahead and deal. 53, possible strikeout. The 8 is a no, so now that's a range play. That's a range play chance for the center fielder, and that is again for Gross. Gross was not great there. His range is a 4. He's not going to get it, and that is going to be a double. That is going to be a double. Batter safe at second. All runners advance 3 bases. Brooks will come around. He will score. Foster on at second. The Mets take a 1-0 lead. Section 518 cheers. Yay! So an RBI double by Foster, as center fielder Greg Gross could not get to that. And now here comes the right fielder, the straw man himself, 21-year-old Darryl Strawberry. What might have been. 257 average, 26 homers, 74 RBIs. If it wasn't for the crap, he was a surefire Hall of Famer. Denny will pitch to the straw. 53, again a possible strikeout. The 15 is a no. Once again, it's a range play. And that's going to be a range play on the shortstop. So that ball is hit to Jesus. His range is a 9. He won't get that one either. That's going to be an infield single, and Foster will hold it third. So Strawberry will go ahead and get a hit. He'll hold at first base, runners at the corners. And now here comes the second baseman, Brian Giles. 245 average, 2 homers, 27 RBIs in 83. Still 2 outs at the top of the first. Mets with a 1-0 lead. Foster shuts his head as accepts G2 and Ron McGrath join us here at Veterans Stadium. Denny will pitch to Giles. 44, that's a base hit for Giles, and the Mets will get another run. That'll be a single, and that's going to be a base hit to center field. Strawberry will hold it second, and Giles holds it first. It's 2-0 Mets. Stadium groans. But Section 518 cheers. Yay! RBI single by Giles. And they're going to go talk to John Denny on the mound, see what's up. Make sure he's okay. That error might have kind of messed him up a little bit. Next batter for the Mets is the catcher, Junior Ortiz, 254 average, 12 RBIs that year. Denny will pitch to Ortiz. It's already 2-0 in favor of the Metropolitans. 54, once again, that's off the 54 chart, and that's going to be bases empty wild. It's going to be a single to right field. Now roll for error rating for an extra base. So the error rating in right field is Von Hayes. His error rating is a 4. He was not an error. It's just going to be a single. It's going to be a single, and the runners will only move up one base. Actually, I'm sorry. That was a wild pitch. That was actually a men on base wild pitcher pass ball. I totally blew that. My bad. Should be wild pitch rating because there are men on base. Wild pitch rating is 13. Actually, it's none. It's not that. Timeout. Upon further review, that wasn't done right. We will reset. Still 2-0 though, but now Junior Ortiz will get. So John Denny did not have that was a possible wild pitch. I used the wrong chart. We'll try again. Denny will pitch 33, and it won't matter. That's a base hit no matter what. So even though I got it wrong, Junior Ortiz just corrects me again. That's a base hit to left field. Second to home scores. So Strawberry will come around. He will score. And a fast runner goes first to third. Giles will make third. Ortiz on at first. It's now 3-0 Mets. Stadium groans. Section 518 cheers. Yay! So John Denny right now having a rough outing here in the top of the first. And a very young 19-year-old Jose Oquendo will bat. 213 average, a homer, 17 RBIs. 2 outs here in the top of the first. 3-0 Mets already. And this is getting kind of weird. Denny will pitch. 33, and that's going to be an out. It'll be a grounder to short. That'll be handled by De Jesus. He's going to throw to second to get Ortiz, and that will retire the side. 3 runs. 4 hits, 1 error. And the Mets jump out in front 3-0 here at the vet. Starting pitcher for the New York Mets, 22-year-old Ron Darling. 1 win, 3 losses, a 137 whip. He is also an A pitcher tonight. The historical score of this game was 2-1, so both pitchers are going to be A's. But now let's see if the Phillies can maybe go ahead and get some runs back. Leading off, the second baseman, Joe Morgan, Hall of Famer. 230 average, 16 homers, 59 RBIs. Darling will pitch. 25, that's going to be an out. It's grounded to short, easily played by Oquendo, and he'll throw it over for out number 1. Here comes the first baseman, Mr. Pete Rose, Hall of Famer. No, one of the greatest of all time. Damn straight. 245 average, 45 RBIs in 83, though. Rose will go up against the young Darling. 64, and that is going to be an out. And that is popped up. And a pop fly ball to second. Giles says he'll take it, and he will, and that's 2 outs. And now with third base, the man himself, Michael Jack Schmidt, Hall of Famer. Are you kidding? And yes, the greatest third baseman of all time. 255 average, 40 bombs, 109 RBIs. Darling will go ahead and pitch. 35, and that's going to be an out. It's going to be a grounder to short. Oquendo's going to get to that one as well, and he will toss it over to first and retire the side. Nice job by Darling. 3-0 after 1. 1, 2, 3, go the Phils. Glad you guys could join us for some fall classic baseball. Leading off for the Mets will be the pitcher, Ron Darling. He had 100 average, only had 10 at-bats in 83. The one thing about Fall Classic, they card everybody. If this was inside pitch, Ron Darling would not have his own batter card. This card I can print out on the printer as a fringe player, and I kind of did. Denny, they do have pitcher batting cards, but since the card's available, I might as well print it. Pitch from Denny, 25. That's going to be an out. He just pops that one up to third, and that will be Schmidt calling for it, and that's the first out. Here it comes Moogie. Wilson is 0 for 1. Denny will pitch. 25. That's going to be another hard popped up as well, and another pop fly ball to third. And it looks like Schmidt's not going to have to move again. He's going to make this catch, though, in foul territory. That's out number 2. And now here's Brooks. Brooks reached on an error and scored his first time up. Denny, he'll go ahead and deal. 55, that's a base hit. Brooks will hit one right up the middle, and Brooks is on base for the second time tonight. So he'll go ahead and get there. Brooks on it first. And now here's Hernandez, who should be in the Hall of Fame. He's 0 for 1. Brooks on it first here. Top of the second, 3-0 Mets. Very important game for the Phillies. The game was meaningless for the Mets. Pitch from Denny. 23. That's going to be a swing and a miss. Struck him out. He'll get for Hernandez, and that will retire the side. That's the first strikeout for Denny. He had 139 of them in 83. No runs and a hit. Denny has a much better inning, and we'll go to the bottom of the second. Leading off for the Fightin' Phils, the left fielder, Joe LaFay, 310 average, 8 homers, 38 RBIs in 83. Darling, 12, and a walk 1 to 17, that's a 15. It's ball 4. He'll walk him. So Darling will walk LaFay. He'll trot to first. First walk given up by Darling. And now we'll see the right fielder, Von Hayes. Underrated player. 265 average, 6 homers, 32 RBIs. I feel Von Hayes actually belongs in the Hall of the Very Good. LaFay on it first. Darling will pitch. That's an 11, and that's going to be an out. And let's see what that will be. And that's going to be a pop-out, a foul pop-out down the left or right field line. And that's going to be popped out to second. That's going to be a pop-out to second base. And let's see here. It does say faster average runner can run with risk to try and score as the fielder catches the ball diving with his back to the plate. LaFay is a slow runner. He's not doing anything of the sort. That's just going to be a pop-out. That's going to be a pop-out to the second baseman. And that is out number 1. So Von Hayes popped out. Next batter is the center fielder, Greg Gross, 302 average and 29 RBIs that year. LaFay on it first, 1 out. Darling, 55, and that's a 15, and that's going to be a base hit for Gross. That'll be a single, and it will be a base hit through the infield, and LaFay's going to hold at second base. It'll be an infield single. So now runners at first and second. And Gross gets the steal sign, but he's not going. He got LaFay on at second base. And now here's Bo Diaz, the catcher. 236 average, 15 homers, 64 RBIs. Runners at first and second now for the Phils. 1 out, bottom of the second. Darling, 23, swing and a miss, struck him out. He got Diaz. And that is the first K for Darling. He had 23 of them in 83. 2 away. And now here comes the shortstop, Ivan De Jesus. 254 average, 4 homers, 45 RBIs in 83. LaFay on at second, Gross on at first. Darling will pitch. And that's a 12, and that's going to be an out. It's going to be a ground ball right to third base. That'll be picked up by Brooks. And he's going to tag the bag at third to force out LaFay. And that will retire the side. Nice job by Darling. No runs, a hit, and a walk. 3-0 after 2. We go to the third. Mets are up 3-0. George Foster leads off for the Metropolitans. He got a double his first time up. The $10 million bum. Denny, he will pitch. 26 against the lefty. It's a base hit. Denny's a righty. That's going to be an out, and it will be a fly to right. Von Hayes will camp under it and get it. 1 away. Here comes Strawberry. Strawberry got a single his first time up. Strawberry had 26 home runs in his rookie year. What might have been for him. Denny will pitch. 24, hit by pitch. 1-6. That's a 10. That's going to be a hard line drive to center. But Gross is going to be there, and that will be a line out, and that's out number 2. Hit hard, but right at Gross. Now Giles. Giles got an RBI single his first time up. ID Jester joins us here at Veterans Stadium. What do you think of Fall Classic so far for replay? Just wondering to try to get people to look at this game years ago. ID Jester, I'm already using it in my replay, so I think I misjudged the game a bit, so I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think people should give Fall Classic a shot. Davo 9 GLA joins us here at Veterans Stadium. Foster for Hall of Fame. No. Denny will pitch. 56, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. Struck him out, and that will retire the side. Second strikeout for Denny, and he has definitely calmed down since the first inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Darling back on the mound. Leading off for the Phillies will be the pitcher, John Denny. He batted 169 with a couple RBIs in 83. Darling, 41, and that's going to be a walk. He's going to walk Denny. He will walk him. So Darling walks the pitcher, commits a cardinal sin. Second walk given up by Darling. And now here's Morgan. Morgan is 0 for 1. You went to the Pirates spring training game on Friday versus the Phillies. Okay. I'm going to see the Mets. I'm going to go see the Mets play the Nationals next Saturday night. Denny on at first. Darling will pitch. 26 against the righty. It's a base hit, and that's what it is. It's going to be a single. And that will be a base hit to center field. First to third advances for John Denny. A weak arm or a strong or an average arm with 2 outs. The center fielder for the Mets is Wilson. He has a weak arm. Denny is going to third, and Morgan holds it first. So Denny actually gets the third base, and now the Phillies are cooking. Here in the bottom of the third, here is Rose. Rose is 0 for 1. David Vega joins us here at Veterans Stadium. If he puts in Foster, he gets to take out Baines. Yes, I totally agree. I'd rather have George. I would give George Foster more of a benefit of the doubt than I would Baines. Denny on at third, Morgan on at first. The Mets are going to play back. They're not going to play in. And Darling will go ahead and pitch. 42, and that's going to be ball 4. He walked Rose, and now the bases are loaded. Both pitchers are A's, but Ron Darling's going to go ahead and give up another walk. And that's 3 walks. And here comes Michael Jack Schmidt. Schmidt is 0 for 1. Nobody out here. Bottom of the third, 3-0 Mets. But Ron Darling already in some trouble here. The infield is going to play back. Darling's going to pitch to Schmidt. And if Schmidt gets a hold of one, we pretty much already know what will happen. Darling, he will pitch. 14, walk. 1-2, that's a 5. It's going to be a swing and a miss. Struck him out. That is a huge K. Second strikeout for Darling. He will strike out Schmidt. And there's 1 out. And now here's LaFay. And LaFay is walked this first time up. 1 out. Darling will pitch to LaFay. 52, possible strikeout. The 5 is a no, so now it's a possible error. And that is a possible one-base error on the shortstop. And that is Jose Oquendo. His error rating is a 9. He will not make an error. And with the bases loaded, and that is a 16, ball hit. Bases are full, ball hit the shortstop. If 20D odd, it's a ground ball, it's a grounder double play. If 20D even, it's a fielder's choice at second. That is a 16. It'll be a fielder's choice. So Denny will score. Morgan moves to third. Rose is out. LaFay goes to first, but the Pirates are on the board. It's 3-1. Since the ball was hit to short, Oquendo, but they will get a run. So that will be a fielder's choice. But the run scores for the Phillies. And now with runners in the corners and 2 outs, here comes the dangerous Hayes. Hayes is 0 for 1. 3-1 now, bottom of the third. Darling will pitch. 13, and that's going to be an out. It's going to be a grounder to first base. Hernandez will take it himself to the bag, and the side is retired. The Phillies only get 1 run out of that. They'll have to be happy with it. 1 run on 1 hit and a couple of walks, and after 3, it's 3-1 in favor of the Mets. This is a spoiler game. The Mets got nothing to play for. This was the best game I figure I could pretty much put on the board tonight. But tomorrow night, we actually have a game that is really worth playing. We'll go to the top of the 4th, and that, of course, will be inside pitch. So Denny back on the mound. Leading off for the Mets will be Junior Ortiz. He got a single his first time up. Denny will pitch. Denny, 34, and that's going to be an out, and it's a hard line drive right to center. And Gross will get to it, and that'll be out number 1. 1 away. Here's Oquendo. Oquendo is 0 for 1. Denny will pitch. 25, and that's a fly ball to right. And Von Hayes will get to it. It's an out, and he'll make the play. 2 away. And now here's Darling. Darling is 0 for 1. Denny will go ahead and pitch. 36, and that's going to be an out. It's a shallow fly ball to right. And Von Hayes is going to come in and get that as well. And that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3, go the Mets. Since the first inning where Denny gave up 3 runs on 4 hits and an error, he's only allowed 1 hit since then. We go to the bottom of the. Denny has definitely calmed down. Leading off for the Phillies will be Greg Gross. He got a single his first time up. Darling will go ahead and he will pitch. And that's a 53. Possible strikeout. The 18 says no. So now it's a range play and for third base. That's a range play for Hubie Brooks. He wasn't too bad. His range is a 12. And he will get it. Nice play by Brooks. He's up with it. Throws to first and gets it out. 1 away. Nice play by Brooks. And now here's Diaz. Diaz is 0 for 1. Darling, he'll pitch. 51, possible strikeout. The 7 is a no. Now it's a possible error chance. And that is a possible error on the second baseman. And that will go to the exotic chart. Brian Giles is at second. His error rating is a 6. That's a 7. Brian Giles will bobble it, picks it up, throws to first, 2 outs. Giles misses an error. A 1-6 would have been an error, but he holds on to it and makes the play. And now here's De Jesus, and he's 0 for 1. Darling, he'll go ahead and pitch. 46, that's off the ballpark. That's a 15. De Jesus is a righty, and that's going to be fouled into foul territory. Keith Hernandez is going into foul territory. He says he's got it, waves at it, Blop. And he makes the catch and retires aside. That's a pop out to first. And the inning is over. 1, 2, 3. Go the Phillies. 3-1 Mets after 4. Section 518 cheers. Yay! Can I get just one happy recap on the board this year? We go to the bottom of the 5th. Mookie leads off for the Mets, is 0 for 2. And yes, he did have the greatest at-bat in World Series history. Pitch from Denny. 41, and that's going to be hard hit to third base. Michael Jack Schmidt will be easy up with that, and he'll throw to first, out number 1. Here comes Brooks. Brooks is 1 for 2. Singled and reached on an error. Denny, he'll go ahead and make the play. He'll pitch. 32, and that's a hard hit ball right past down the line to third, and that is going to be a double. Brooks is going to wind up at second base. Brooks now has a single and a double, and the Mets got a big run at second. And the next batter will be Hernandez, who should be in the Hall of Fame. He's 0 for 2. Greatest at-bat in history with David Freese. No ID Jester. It was no ID Jester. It was Mookie Wilson. ID. You really need to learn more of your baseball, sir. Brooks on at second. Denny will pitch to Hernandez. 65. That's a possible home run. But Denny, however, has a 0 as an A pitcher. That's not going to be a homer. Instead, that's going to be a hard line drive to left field, and it's going to be LaFay making the catch, and that's out number 2. It'll be a fly to left. John Denny did not give up many home runs, hence the home run rating of a 0. So no chance there. And now the batter is Foster. Foster is 1 for 2. As he says, Kirk Gibson. Kirk Gibson hit one of the greatest home runs in World Series history, but it was in Game 1. World Series was not on the line at that time. When Mookie Wilson came up to bat, the World Series was on the line at the time. Hence the greatest at-bat in World Series history. I don't care what you guys say. Brooks on at second. Denny will pitch to Foster. And that's a 46. That's off the ballpark. That's a 17. And that's going to be a straight. And Foster is going to get a base hit. All runners advance 2 bases. Brooks will come around. He will score. Foster trying for second, though. And that was hit to left field. Left fielder is LaFay. His assist rating is a 6. Now, Foster's going to be out, but we still roll to see if LaFay makes an error. So if he rolls a 6, it's a possible error. And it's thrown out at second, and the inning is over, but the run. Cheers. Yay! So RBI single by Foster, but he is thrown out at second by Joe LaFay. The inning is over, but the Mets do get a run. So 1 run on 2 hits for the Mets, and they now have a 4-1 lead going in the bottom of the 5th. Bobby Thompson. Bobby Thompson was not a World Series home run. Bobby Thompson was for the pennant. That was for the National League pennant. That was not a World Series home run, Doug. It is one of the greatest home runs ever hit. That is no doubt in my mind. All right. But that was not a World Series home run. I said greatest at-bat in World Series history. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Darling back on the mound. And leading off for the Phillies will be John Denny. And he walked his first time up. Darling will pitch. And 41, and he walked him again. Wow. He walks Denny again. Denny has a blank 41 on his card, and Darling walked him a second time. And John Denny goes ahead and says, DH? I don't need no stinking DH. So Darling walks the pitcher. Here comes Morgan. Morgan 1 for 2. Denny on it first. 4-1, bottom of the 5th here. Mets trying to get a nice win against the Phillies team that really needs this win more than the Mets do. 16. That's going to be an out, and it's a regular out, and it's going to be a ground out to the pitcher. Fielder's choice at second. Strong arm shortstop starts a double play. Shortstop for the Mets is Okendo. He has an average arm. That's going to be a fielder's choice. Denny is out. Morgan takes first, and that is out number 1. So Okendo could not complete a double play chance. That will be a fielder's choice. Here's Mr. Peter Rose. May he rest in peace. Rose is 0 for 1 with a walk. 1 out, 4-1 Mets. Darling, he will pitch. 55, it's a base hit. That'll be a single for Rose. And it's going to be a base hit to center field. Fast runner advances. Others can risk. Center fielder for the Mets is Wilson. He has a weak arm. Morgan, I wonder if he tries to take third. Let's see. Let's roll a decider die. Let's see here. Has a weak arm. So when you try running with risk, the only way Morgan would be out would be on a 1. So let's see here. No, Morgan will hold at second base. So Morgan decides to hold, even though it probably could have ran with risk on it. But that's a base hit for Rose. And now the batter is Michael Jack Schmidt. Schmidt is 0 for 2. 1 out here. A chance for Schmidt. Darling got to be careful with him. Schmidt will settle in there. And Darling, he will now deal. 51, possible strikeout. 10 is a no. Now it's a possible error. And that is off the pitcher. So the pitcher, Ron Darling, his error rating is a 0. There's not going to be an error. So we still have to roll to see what would happen, what kind it is. And that's an even number. So runners on first and second. It's going to be a fielder's choice at second base. The other goes to third. So Morgan goes to third. Rose is out. Schmidt takes first, 2 outs. Darling did not make any errors, so he will not have to worry about it. So another fielder's choice now, 2 away. And here's LaFay. LaFay is 0 for 1. Has a walk. 2 outs. Phillies threatening, but right now, Darling keeping the Phillies off the crossing the plate. Fans here at Veterans Stadium hoping that maybe the Phillies can get a hit. Darling, he will pitch. 12, a walk, 1-17, that's an 8. It's ball 4 and the bases are loaded. So Darling will give up a walk to LaFay. And now here comes Hayes. Von Hayes is 0 for 2. Darling looking in on Hayes. Hayes hits righties very well. Good splits. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. 4-1 Mets. Fans here at Veterans Stadium on their feet. Section 518 hoping for a good pitch from Darling. Darling will deal. 13, and that's going to be an out. It will be popped up. Pop fly ball to first base. Keith Hernandez is going to call for it. He will make the catch and retire the side. Wow. No runs, a hit, 2 walks, and the Phillies get nothing. Good day, sir. 4-1 after 5. Oh, don't get me started on Edgar Renteria's home run in 1997 because I was at that game. I was at that game when Edgar Renteria hit that home run. I was sitting on the upper deck behind the plate. Trust me, we went nuts. Me and my friends, we went nuts for that Game 7. One of the best Game 7s you'll ever see, too. That's one of the best baseball games ever played. 97 Game 7 between the Marlins and the Indians. Top of the 6th, 4-1 Mets. And it will be the straw man leading off. Darryl is 1 for 2. He's got a single. Denny will continue to pitch. And that's a 33. And that's going to be a base hit for Darryl Strawberry. He'll get a single and head to first. Strawberry now 2 for 3. He does get the steal sign. We'll see if he goes. Next batter is Giles. Strawberry has a very good chance to steal. And let's see. Denny is a weak arm. So the only way Strawberry, and he's a righty, so the only way Strawberry doesn't get the jump is on a 1. He does get the jump. Strawberry is on his way. And now with a chance by Diaz. He has an average arm. Strawberry, a 1 to 15. He will be safe. And he's out. 1 down. Strawberry is caught stealing by Bo Diaz as the evil D20 strikes again. A 1 to 15 chance, and I roll an 18. Yeah. Okay. 1 out. Giles will now bat with the bases empty. But why not? You're the Mets. You're 55 and 87. You might as well try a few things. Pitch from Denny. 52. Possible strikeout. No. Now it's a possible error. And that is a possible error to third base. And the third baseman is Schmidt. He didn't make many errors, though. His error rating is a 6. He will not make an error. Schmidt's got it. Throws to first, out number 2. So Giles is out. And timeout real quick as I fix these darn cards. Okay, that's better. So now 2 away, and here comes Ortiz. Ortiz is 1 for 2 with a single. Denny, he'll go ahead and deal. 34, that's an out. It's a fly ball to center field, and Gross is going to get to that, make the catch, and retire the side. No runs and a hit and a caught stealing. Strawberry is caught at second base. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Darling got plenty of baseball left in his tank. Leading off for the Phillies will be Greg Gross. He is 1 for 2. Phillies need this game. The Montreal Expos are a game and a half ahead of them in the National League East. The Mets are dead last, as they were in 1983. Pitch on the way, 25. That's good against the righty. It's a base hit, and it is. Gross will get a single. Gross did a good job against righties, and Gross has his second hit of the game. Here's Diaz. Diaz is 0 for 2. Gross on it first. Pitch from Darling. 62. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. He'll get Diaz. That's a big K. That's the third strikeout for Darling. 1 down. Here's DeJesus. DeJesus is 0 for 2. Gross on it first. Darling will pitch. 35, and that's going to be an out. Let's see what kind of out that will be. And it's going to be a ground out to short. Fielder's choice at second, 6-4. So Gross is going to be thrown out at second base, and DeJesus will take first, and that's out number 2. And now the batter is Denny. Question is, do the Phillies want Denny to bat? Denny, he can pitch to 30 batters. I don't think you let him bat here. You're down 4-1. I know it's the 6th inning. Although in 1983, they were a little bit lenient on pitchers back in the 80s. I think you take Denny out, and I think you bring in a pinch hitter here because you're down 4-1. And Denny only has a few batters left. John Haverly says need the runs. I agree. Denny's going to come out of the game. We'll see a new pitcher, and we'll see a pinch hitter for the Phillies. And they're going to go ahead and bring out Len Matuzek, 275 average, 4 homers, 16 RBIs. Only played in a few games, but he is the lefty here. So Len Matuzek will come on to bat. 2 outs. Darling will pitch to Matuzek. 4-1 Mets. Fans here at the Vet hoping for a big hit. Darling will pitch. 46, it's off the ballpark. That's a 19, and that's going to be a base hit with a possible double, though. De Jesus goes to third. Matuzek's got it, is going to try for second. And that's hit to right field. Right fielder is Strawberry. His assist rating is a 4. A 1-4, Matuzek is out. No, he's safe. Matuzek slides in under the tag. That was a big chance. But that will be a double for Matuzek, and it will bring up Morgan. Morgan is now 1 for 3 with runners at second and third. Darling's going to pitch to Morgan here, and 2 outs. Fans here at the Vet know that Morgan does have some home run power. Darling looking in, runners at second and third. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. 4-1 Mets. Section 518 chewing his fingernails. Darling will pitch. 35, and that's going to be an out. It's grounded to first. Hernandez has got it. Darling comes over. Hernandez gives it to Darling, and the inning is over. Stadium groans. Section 518 cheers. Yay! No runs, 2 hits. And the Phillies again strand a couple of big runs. 4-1 after 6. Jose Oquendo leads off for the Mets. And he is 0 for 2. They're going to let him bat. Phillies need a pitcher. And let's see. Coming on to pitch for the Phillies is going to be Ron Reed. 9 wins, a loss, 8 saves. He had a 129 whip, and Reed is going to be a C pitcher. Ouch. So Reed is a C pitcher, and Reed will come on to pitch for the Phillies, as we're now in the top of the 7th. Mets lead 4-1. Pitch from Reed to Oquendo. 61, swing and a miss. Struck him out. He'll get Oquendo 1 down. Now the batter is Darling. And I think Darling did his job. And I think they're going to bring in a pinch hitter, and I think that's right. Darling's going to leave with the W, as that will be it for him. And we'll see a new batter for the Mets. And they're going to go with, coming on to pinch hit will be Denny Heap. 253 average, 8 homers, 21 RBIs in 83. So Denny Heap will go up against Reed here. 1 out, top of the 7th. Reed will pitch. 43, and that is going to be an out, grounded to third base. And Schmidt will get to it and toss it over for out number 2. Top of the order, here's Mookie. He's 0 for 3, though. Reed, he'll go ahead and pitch. 33, and that's a base hit. Wilson will have a single. He'll get to first base as he gets his first hit of the game. Wilson does get the steal sign, but with 2 outs, he'll stay there. And it will bring up Brooks. Brooks is 2 for 3, a single and a double. Wilson on it first, 2 men down. Reed will pitch. 12, that's an out. It's a grounder to short. Up with it is De Jesus. He's going to throw to first to get Brooks. And the inning is over. No runs and a hit for the Mets. And the Mets have a 4-1 lead here. We are at the 7th inning stretch. Sing, take me out to the ball game. I'll be right back. Don't forget, we got 10-minute ticker coming up after tonight's game. Tomorrow night will be September 15th, and they are back in the playoff race. And we got to go ahead and do a game. We're going to the Astrodome. The Los Angeles Dodgers will take on the Houston Astros. Alejandro Pena will be going for the Dodgers, and Nolan Ryan will be pitching for the Astros. A big game tomorrow night. The Astros are back in the race. 500 and tied with the Padres for third. The Dodgers, the Padres, and the Astros are now fighting for 2 playoff spots. A huge game tomorrow night. Dodgers and the Astros. Pena and the Ryan Express. That'll be tomorrow night on Inside Pitch. Bottom of the 7th here, Mets have a 4-1 lead. And it will be Pete Rose leading off for the Phils. He is 1 for 2, a single and a walk. Mets need a pitcher. And they will go with let's switch left. Switch right and left. Coming on to pitch for the Mets is going to be Doug Sisk. 5 wins, 4 losses, 11 saves. He really was the closer that year. But I'm going to let Doug Sisk come out here to pitch. And he is going to be a B pitcher. So Doug Sisk will be a B. 5 wins, 141 whip for Doug Sisk. So he's going to come on to pitch for the Mets. The Met bullpen was... Rose will lead off for the Phils. 4-1, bottom of the 7th. Sisk will deal. 21. That's a hard hit ball right. That's a hard hit grounder right to back to the pitcher. But Sisk has got it. And he throws to first. That's an out. 1 away. Rose grounds it right back to Sisk for the out. And now Michael Jack Schmidt. He's 0 for 3. Schmidt having a rough game tonight. Sisk will go ahead and pitch to him. 11, and he walked him. He goes ahead and walks Schmidt. Schmidt will draw the base on balls. First walk given up by Sisk, and now here's LaFay. LaFay will bat. He's 0 for 1, but he's walked twice. Schmidt on it first. Sisk will go ahead and deal. 25, that's going to be an out, and it will be a fly out to right field. And coming in to grab that will be the straw man. That's out number 2. And Schmidt will stay where he is, 2 down. And now here's Hayes. Hayes is 0 for 3. You kind of think he's due for a hit. Sisk will go ahead and set it up, and he will go ahead and pitch. 12, and that's going to be a fly ball to left field. Coming in to grab that is Foster. He'll make the catch and retire the side. Nothing across except a walk. 4-1 Mets here after 7. Fans here in Veterans Stadium wondering how they could be losing to the worst team in baseball. Although they weren't, and they're really not the worst in baseball. According to the replay, that actually belongs to the Seattle Mariners. We go to the top of the 8th. Reed's going to stay out there. Leading off for the Mets will be Keith Hernandez, who should be in the Hall of Fame. And he is 0 for 3 tonight. Reed, he'll go ahead and pitch. 43 and a 1-6. He's a C pitcher. A 1-16 would be a walk. That's a 3. He'll walk Hernandez. So because Reed doesn't really have his best stuff, he walks Hernandez. So Hernandez goes to first, and now a chance for Foster. Foster is 2 for 3, a single and a double. Hernandez on first. Reed will pitch. 24, hit by pitch. 1-4, and -1 makes him a 3. That's a 12. It will not be that. That instead is going to be popped up. And that is going to be a pop. That's going to be a pop out. Well, actually, it's going to be an out. Actually, I got to draw the card in this one. And that's going to be a ground out to short instead. Double play, 6-4-3. Weak shortstop arm only gets fielder's choice. De Jesus has an average arm. That's going to be a double play. 2 outs. I forgot. There are runners on base. I have to draw the card. 2 down. As Foster grounds out into the 6-4-3. And now here's Strawberry. Strawberry is 2 for 3, 2 singles. Fans here at the vet hoping Reed can get Strawberry out, but you got to be very careful with Strawberry. Pitch from Reed. 51, strikeout 4. No, Reed is a C pitcher. A 1-3 would have been a strikeout. That's a 4. Now it's an error check. Possible error on the shortstop. And that is hit to De Jesus. His error rating is a 6. He won't make an error. De Jesus has got it, picks it up, throws to first, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except a walk. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Sisk will stay on the mound. And Greg Gross leads off for Philadelphia Freedom. And he is 2 for 3 with 2 singles. Sisk is a B pitcher. He will pitch. 66. Gross leads off with a smack pass right up the middle, and that's going to be a double for Gross. So Gross hits one right up there, and he has his 3rd hit of the game. Now the batter is Diaz. Diaz is 0 for 3. Are they going to let him hit, though? Let me see what the Phillies want to do here. You have Ozzie Virgil at the catcher spot. Then you got the pitcher coming up. You got Ivan De Jesus. Then you got the pitcher. Second, and Sisk will pitch to Diaz. 21. And out, and it's going to be a ground out and to the right, and that's going to be a ground ball to the pitcher. Doug Sisk will go ahead and get that. He'll throw to first for the out, and Gross will go to third. So grounded, they get the shore out, but Gross will move to third base. And now here's De Jesus. De Jesus is 0 for 3. Mets are playing the infield back. Gross's run don't mean anything. Sisk is going to pitch to De Jesus. De Jesus, not a bad hitter. Pitch from Sisk. 53, possible strikeout. The 12 says no. Now it's a range play. And that's going to be to center field. Going after that is the center fielder. That's Wilson. His range wasn't too bad. His range is a 10. But he's not going to get it. It's going to be a one-base single. Gross will come in to score. De Jesus holds it first. The Phillies get a run. It's now 4-2. Stadium cheers. Yay! The Phillies do get a run on an RBI single by De Jesus. We'll see a pinch hitter for Ron Reed as he's coming out. And we'll see who they're going to bring on to bat. And it will be Gary Matthews. 258 average, 10 homers, 50 RBIs. So Matthews will pinch it against Sisk. Sisk says he wants to try to get these guys out. And he's going to try to do it. 1 out here. Now a 4-2 ball game. Sisk will go ahead. Sisk will go ahead and he will pitch. 46, that's off the ballpark, but a 16 is going to be an out, and that's going to be gone to first base in foul territory. Hernandez is going to come to get that one. It's going to be out number 2. That's a pop out to first. So 2 outs. And now here's Morgan. Morgan is 1 for 4. So DeJesus on it first, 2 outs. Sisk will pitch to Morgan. 42, and that's going to be ball 4. It's a walk. So Sisk will go ahead and walk Morgan, and now the tying run is on base. And here comes Rose. Rose is the next batter, and Rose is 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. So here comes a big chance for DeJesus and Morgan on base. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th, 4-2. Sisk looking in on Rose. The fans here at Veteran Stadium hoping Charlie Hustle can come through with a hit. Sisk will pitch. 52, possible strikeout. The 14 says no. Now it's an error chance. And it's going to be a possible error on the second baseman. That ball is hit to Giles. Giles didn't make many. His error rating is a 6. He won't make an error. Giles has got it. Picks it up. Throws to first. Side retired. 1 run, 2 hits, and a walk. Sisk gets out of it. 4-2 after 8. Stadium groans. Section 518 cheers. Yay! We go to the 9th. Leading off for the Mets will be Brian Giles, and he's 1 for 3. Phillies need a pitcher, and they got 2 righties coming up here. And let's see who the Phillies want to bring out. And in this case, in the 9th inning, they'll go with their best. Coming on to pitch for the Phillies will be Al Holland. 8 wins, 4 losses, 25 saves, and 102 whip. Pretty much the best reliever they have in the bullpen here. So Al Holland, his job is to keep it 4-2. And he is going to be a C pitcher. So Holland will be a C. And we'll see if Brian Giles can take advantage of it. Holland will pitch to Giles. 36, and that's going to be an out. It's going to be a the third. Easy play by Schmidt. And he throws it over for out number 1. It's actually a fly ball out, but I'll just say that's an out. Out the third, why not? Here's Ortiz. Ortiz is 1 for 3. Holland will go ahead and pitch. 13, and that's going to be another grounder to third. Easy play there for Schmidt. And he'll throw it over for out number 2. And now Okendo. Okendo is 0 for 3. Holland sets up here. Fans. That's a 40 ball to right field. This time Hayes will get to that. He'll make the play and retire the side. Nice job by Holland. 1, 2, 3, go the Mets. But they have a 4-2 lead here. But will we see some 9th inning magic? I know Section 518 does not want to see any 9th inning magic. Yeah, I think you deleted something there, David, by accident. You're okay. Don't worry. It was accidental. Sisk is coming out of the game. The Mets are going to go to the bullpen, try to get this win. And coming on to pitch for the Mets is going to be 26-year-old Jesse Orosco. 13 wins, 7 losses, 17 saves. Orosco coming in to try to close the game out. And Orosco is going to be a B pitcher. So Orosco's a B, and he will be pitching for the Mets. So here comes Orosco, who leads the majors in appearances, in career appearances. But he has to face the heart of the order, Schmidt, LaFay, and Hayes. Here comes Michael Jack Schmidt. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. Orosco will pitch to Schmidt. Bottom of the 9th, 4-2 Mets. 33, and Schmidt leads off with a 15, and that's a walk. So that's going to be a walk for Schmidt, and he'll trot to first. Schmidt walks for the second time, and here comes LaFay. LaFay is 0 for 2, but he's walked twice. LaFay will bat. So Orozco walks Schmidt. And now Orozco will pitch to LaFay. So already the tying run is at the plate. Pitch from Orozco. 36, and that's going to be an out. And that's going to be a ground out to the pitcher. Double play, 1-6-3. Pitcher weak arm. Fielder's choice only. Orozco has an average arm. So Orozco picks it up, turns around, throws to short, on to first, double play. Section 518 cheers. Yay! 1-6-3 double play and a grounder right back to Orozco. And he'll turn the 2 down. And now the last chance for the Phillies is Von Hayes. Hayes is 0 for 4. Rough game for him. Jesse Orozco trying to close the deal for the Mets. Fans here at the Vet really don't want the Phillies to lose to the Mets. Orozco sets up. He will go ahead and he will pitch. 51, strikeout. No, it's a possible error. And that's going to be a possible error on the pitcher. Jesse Orozco's error rating is a 0. There's not going to be an error. It's a grounder right back to Orozco. He's got it. Pumps once, pumps twice. Throws to first. That's your game. The Mets will get a big victory against the Phillies tonight, 4-2. Section 518 cheers. Yay! Stadium barfs. Yeah. Nothing across except the walk. The Mets are going to give the Phillies a tough loss tonight. A 4-2 win. The Mets will go to 56-87. The Phillies now drop to 84-58. What a job by the pitching for the Mets tonight. As they're going to go ahead and get a nice win here at the Veterans Stadium. And no, I'm sorry, midlife crisis, definitely not rigged. Final line score coming up. For the Mets, 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. For the Phillies, 2 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. The winning pitcher is Ron Darling. He's going to wind up with the win. John Denny takes a loss. Sisk will get a hold. Orozco gets the save. So a great job here by the Mets. And the Mets think they're going to win the World Series in a few years. I can pretty much guarantee they will. But the Mets will take a 4-2 win tonight. We are not done. 10-minute ticker is next. rigged, I tell you. So my Mets at least will get a nice win. At least I can go into the off season thinking of whatever the next season will be. Of course, we don't know what that is yet. We got a ways to go yet before we find out what the next season will be here on the network, the next replay. We got a long way to go yet before we can figure out what that might be. It is now time for the 10-minute ticker, brought to you by FastScore Baseball. So the Mets are going to take and that's a tough loss for the Phils. September 12th, Cleveland at Detroit. Tigers are 2 games ahead of the Brewers for third. Indians 9-13, that is 1. Tigers 13-55, and that is 7. That's a win for the Cats. Milwaukee at the Yankees. This is a big game, but we've done the Brewers twice in a row. It's time to do somebody else. Brewers and the Yankees. The Yankees, their magic number is 9 to clinch the division. Brewers, they're now 2.5 back of the Tigers. Brewers 852, and that is 5. Yankees 1331, and that is 4. And that's a win for the Brew Crew, and they'll stay where they're at. Expos and the Cubs. With the Phillies losing, the Expos now have a chance to go to 2.5 ahead. Expos 10-51, and that's 5. Cubs 5-21, and that is 2. And the Expos now lead the National League East by 2.5. Cardinals and the Pirates. The Pirates, they are 4 games under 500. They got to get over 500. They need a win against the Cardinals. Cardinals 9-32, and that is 3. Pirates 8-23, and that is 2. That's a tough loss to the Redbirds. On to September 13th, Baltimore at Boston. The Orioles are still behind the Yankees. Now 7.5 back. This is a doubleheader, though. Baltimore 13-16, and that is 2. Red Sox 5-43, that's 4. The Red Sox take the first. Baltimore 2-36, that's 3. Red Sox 5-22, and that is 2. And they will split the twin bill. I have a feeling the Yankees are going to win this division. Kansas City at California. Royals 9-45, that is 5. Angels 9-65, that's 8, and that's a win for the Halos. Cleveland at Detroit. Indians 5-21, and that's 2. Tigers 14-41, that's 5, another win for the Cats. White Sox at Minnesota. The White Sox magic number to clinch the division is 6. White Sox 21-33, and that is 5. Twins 5-21, and that is 2, and that is a win for the White Sox. Actually, it's 6 to clinch a playoff berth, not the division yet, but they will clinch the division. Milwaukee and the Yankees. Brewers 18-56, and that is 8. Yankees 18-22, and stay with the Brewers. Or I should say the Brewers. Tigers. Texas and Oakland. The Rangers are at 500. They got to get above it. Rangers 7-23, and that is 2. Athletics 6-45, that is 4. And that's a tough loss for the Rangers. Blue Jays and the Mariners. Blue Jays 16-61, that is 8. Mariners 5-16, that is 1. It's a win for the Jays. Expos and the Cubs. Expos 13-53, and that is 6. Cubs 13-66, that is 11. Cubs win. Braves and the Reds. The Braves lead the National League West by 12 games. Their magic number to clinch the division, however, is 8. That is true. Atlanta 6-53, and that's 5. Reds 4-44, and that is 4. That's a win for the Bravos. Dodgers and the Astros. Dodgers 7-65, that is 8. Astros 4-53, that's 5. The Dodgers will give the Astros a loss. Mets and the Phillies. Can my Mets get a win? Mets 0-65, that's 6. Phillies 6-43, and that's 4. And my Mets get another happy recap. Cardinals and the Pirates. Cardinals 6-21, that's 2. Pirates 10-42, that's 4. Raise the Jolly Roger. Giants and the Padres. The Padres are with 3 teams trying to get 2 spots. Giants 10-56, that is 6. Padres 112, that is 0. And the Giants will give the Padres a loss. On to September 14th, Baltimore at Boston. Orioles 15-23, and that is 3. Red Sox 18-35, that's 5. Another loss for the Orioles. Kansas City at California. Baltimore better be careful because Baltimore could fall as far as 3rd. Because Detroit is right behind them. Kansas City at California. Royals 12-14, that is 2. Angels 10-61, that's 7, a win for the Halos. Cleveland at Detroit. Can Detroit get closer to second place? Indians minus 146. That is 3. Tigers 16-15. No, that's 2. Tigers can't gain a game. White Sox of Minnesota. White Sox 16-15, and that is 2. Twins 9-43, and that's 4. Tough loss for the White Sox. Milwaukee and the Yankees. Brewers 6-25, that's 2. Yankees 12-31, that's 4. The Yanks will get the win. Texas at Oakland. Rangers 6-11, that's 0. Oakland 3-53, and that's 4. And the Rangers were at 500. Now they're 2 games under. It's like every time I say a team is back in this race, they just drop like a fly. Toronto at Seattle. Blue Jays 11-32, and that's 4. Mariners 5-34, and that's 3. That's a win for the Bluebirds. Atlanta and the Reds. Braves 18-13 and 2 runs. Reds 6-33 and 3 runs. That game belongs to the Reds. Dodgers and the Astros. We have these 2 tomorrow night. Dodgers 6-36, and that's 3. Astros 0-25, and that is 2. The Astros were 2 games above 500. They're now back to 500. Cardinals and the Mets. Can my Mets get a win? Cardinals 7-26, and that's 3. Mets 5-43, and that is 4. And my Mets sweep it tonight. Expos and the Phillies. Big doubleheader for the Phillies and the Expos. Huge matchup here. Game 1, Montreal 6-11, and that is 0. Phillies 4-32, and that is 3. The Phillies take the first. Expos 13-61, that is 7. Phillies 8-43, and that is 4. They will split the twin bill. Cubs and the Pirates. Cubs 6-65, and that is 8. Pirates 11-26, that's 3. Cubs win. Giants and the Padres. Can the Padres take advantage of an Astro loss? Giants 9-61, that's 6. Padres 11-64, that's 8. And the Friars will get the win. That is your 10-minute ticker. If your team won tonight, congratulations. If they didn't, there's always tomorrow. Tomorrow will be September 13th. We'll be at the 15th. We'll be at the Astrodome. The Houston Astros are back in this game, in this season. But the Dodgers right now have won 2 games. Alejandro Pena will go for the Dodgers. The Von Ryan Express will go for the Stros. Huge game tomorrow night. Dodgers and Astros. Pena and Ryan. Be there and be square for Inside Pitch. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Please leave a like on your way out the turnstiles. Subscribe if you've not done so. And make sure you hit the darn bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night. The New York Mets, as the late, great Bob Murphy would say, we have a happy recap. They beat the Phillies tonight 4-2. See you guys tomorrow night.